Everybody has been coming for Steve Harvey's neck, and he just can't live his life in peace. He just can't live his life in peace. Now, lately, what you've seen, and I've actually had a conversation about this last week, specifically about him and what he said on Shannon Sharp show, right? And on Shannon Sharp show, he broke down the different issues that he had with the Kings of Comedy. He talked about all of the things with regard to divorce and, you know, his ex-wife and his accountant and cleaning them out and all of this other type of stuff, right? And this guy right here allegedly was an ex-kingpin. Now, I don't believe it. Not even a little bit. I don't believe that this guy was an ex-kingpin, not even a little bit. You're not going to sit here and tell me that this guy was an ex-kingpin. I'm not going for it. If you look at his suit, specifically while he's talking, he's still got the tags on it. I think this is clout chasing at its finest. I know that we give Steve Harvey a lot of flack and a lot of issues or whatever, but somehow, some way, and this is why I always say that creators create. As much as you may not like or you like Tasha K, right? As much as you may not necessarily care for him. And I also heard that Derek Jackson is now on Country Wayne skits. Somebody verify that for me. I heard that Derek Jackson is now on Country Wayne skits. Is that true? Anyways, this guy has been dug up by Tasha K, and I have no idea for the life of me how she continues to get everybody to reach out to her that has a problem, an issue, trouble, or anything like that, right? But Steve Harvey has been living his life. We don't necessarily care for the way in which Lori Harvey is showing herself, and he addressed that on Shannon Sharp show. And lots of great things has been happening. He's getting the bags. He's getting over 10 M's just regard to his radio show. And he's done all of this work. And he's a legend with regard to his comedy career. And he gives great insight on how it is that you need to level up and the dedication it takes to be successful. But the one thing that you cannot say, is Steve Harvey is not a bag chaser. Now, the other thing that you have to add as a caveat is how come every single time that something happens to a guy, in more instances than not, it's always associated with a woman. A woman is always the catalyst for how things change when breakups happen between brothers. A woman is usually the catalyst for how another man gets killed. A woman is usually the catalyst for the downfall of a kingdom. A woman is usually the person at the forefront of whatever it is of a kingdom crumbling. This is just a fact. In more instances than not, and that's not saying that a guy shouldn't have a level of discipline, and that's why we now starting to have these conversations about men protecting themselves. In more instances than not, it's always a woman that is at the forefront of a guy suffering, and men doing crazy, stupid stuff like this, like going on Tasha K in order to be a chatty patty. And he's supposed to be an OG. He's supposed to be a kingpin. I don't believe it. But let me play a little bit of this to make sure that you guys understand what's going on. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. We got a webinar going on tomorrow, and you have to be a part of the Patreon in order to join it. We also got the meetup this weekend. The best day of the month to join the Patreon is the very first day of the month, so make sure that y'all tap in. Let's get it popping. I want to see what this wild man that y'all sent me this video is having to say. Shout out to Steve Harvey. Hold on, I got to turn up.
Been through. Now, you've served over 20 years.
27.
27 years in prison. Look like what you've been through. Now, you've served over 20 years.
27.
27 years in prison. You were getting
28 really, if you count the little year I did in the state when I was really coming up in the game.
Because you were originally given like a life sentence.
Without the possibility of parole.
Now you've been out for about what, 4 or 5
6 years. It was 6 years in January.
Just in case the viewers aren't familiar, you have been working on a book for quite.
Now, I am very much interested, and I have to give Tasha K a lot of credit. Just so far. Got to give Tasha K a lot of credit because I don't know how she dig up these dudes, but been out the game, out of prison for over 6 years, right? and doing great things, or apparently he's been living his life. I don't know if he couldn't find a suitable suit that didn't have the tags on it or whatever. But he originally was without the possibility of parole in prison, and he did over 28 years in prison and all of that. And all of a sudden, he just pops up in the middle of all of this issue and problems on Tasha K's platform. Okay, let's continue.
Some time. It's called Snakes in the Garden.
The reason I took the book off the shelf was really because of Steve Harvey. But when Steve Harvey made a link, I told you they sent me a link.
Sent you a link.
And in that link, we never did finish that. In that link, he was saying that he was talking about Jason when Jason was about 15 years old. Jason was kind of rebellious, my son Jason. He told Steve Harvey one day, "You're not my father. Jimmy Townsend my father," like that. So I guess it kind of pissed. This is Steve Harvey with the interview talking. And so when Jason told him that, it kind of pissed him off. And he told Jason, "I love your mama, so I got to love you."
Facts.
Where's that punk ass, dad of yours? So I
let's rewind it one time. Y'all can go over to Tasha K's channel and watch this. DJ Troy said he's official. I don't think so. But I'm gonna rewind it just a little bit in order to play that over, just for y'all in the back.
Son Jason, he told Steve Harvey one day, "You're not my father. Jimmy Townsend my father," like that. So I guess it kind of pissed. This is Steve Harvey with the interview talking. And so when Jason told him that, it kind of pissed him off. And he told Jason, "I love your mama, so I got to love you." Where's that punk ass, dad of yours?
So a lot of y'all saying this credentials can be easily verified. When you say he's the real deal, I'm not saying did he really get caught with the bricks. I'm asking what makes y'all think that this dude is that deal? What makes y'all think that that dude is that deal, right? Because think about it, though. Think about it. You got another man. Now, I'm not an advocate for becoming a stepfather because I think it's a thankless job, as being indicated right now. You had another man pick up the pieces and take care of your son because he loved your mother. He fed that motherfucker. He made sure that he had clothes on his back. He showed him what a man looked like as far as the work ethic and the grind and the hustle. Your son had a father figure in his life. You should be getting out and thanking Steve for making sure that he put discipline on your badass kid. You should be getting out and thanking him because he put discipline on your bad kid. I'm telling you, becoming a stepfather is quite possibly the worst decision and option in the world, because even after you took care of another man's kid on behalf of his mother, he's still getting out and writing a book about you. And he's still over here being a chatty patty talking about you. Now, I don't see what the problem is. If you in prison and I got to take care of your kid, and your bad kid gonna sit here and buck up to me and say, "You ain't my daddy." Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And not only am I your daddy, but your original daddy, where his punk ass at? Where his punk ass at? No. No way, no how. No way, no how would I ever advocate for a man. Now, allegedly, Steve actually adopted these other men's kids in order to make sure that they was taken care of. Adoption, you know what all of the benefits that come with being adopted, right? You get the health care coverage until you're 26 years old. You even get the last name, even to be associated with the Harvey name based off of Steve Harvey, right? Even to be associated with the last name of Harvey is a blessing. It's a privilege. You know how many guys would kill, or how many people would kill for the possibility of not only having a father or a strong male figure in their life, but also to have a famous, rich. If he loved his son, he should have been talking on the phone with his son and saying, "Hey, listen, hey, little homie, don't fumble the bag. You're gonna fumble the bag for both of us. Make sure that you got the right mindset and you taking care of business. I'm gonna be reading super chats throughout the show, and you don't be over there talking junk to that man. You in that man's house. Put some respect on that man's name." I, as his biological father, when he came to see me in prison, I'd have been like, "Hey, you really getting out of line with the dude that's feeding you?" And now this dude is writing a book called Snakes in the Grass. Look at this. Look at what he just said. Look at one of the reasons why he's having this conversation.
My father, like that. So I guess it kind of pissed. This is Steve Harvey with the interview talking. And so when Jason told him that, it kind of pissed him off. And he told Jason, "I love your mama, so I got to love you." Now, where's that punk ass? Dad.
Now, when I say throw the baby out with the bathwater, y'all want to look at me all funny because these little angry monsters is coming up being disrespectful. Little angry monsters is coming up being disrespectful, and you still got to deal with. Listen, there's no way that I ever could imagine negotiating with another dude while I'm taking care of his kids. No way, no how. You can go ahead and keep that. You can keep that.
Yours. So I don't know if it was from insecurity or what.
Insecurity?
You're a multi-millionaire. I ain't nobody. You ain't got to worry about me.
So this man has never been in the same room with you.
Period. That's what he
called you a.
Why would I be in the same room with you? And see, Tasha understands, but Tasha is smart because Tasha K is just getting it. All she care about is the views. All Tasha K cares about is the views. Tasha ain't on no standards with regard to this man. She ain't trying to get his story and none of that. The only thing she wants this man to do is to keep on talking. And if he was as self-aware, and this is one of the reasons why I say I don't know why y'all sitting here telling me that this guy was a kingpin. I don't believe it. He had to be a front man. He had to be the dude to take the fall. There's no way in the world that you can sit here and tell me that this man can't pick up the fact that Tasha K is leveraging what it is that he's saying in order to get the views. Meanwhile, he falling right into it. In order to be a kingpin, you got to be self-aware. You got to be focused. You got to keep your head on a swivel. You got to understand when people trying to play you, who's using you, and there's nothing wrong with being used. But at the same time, don't misuse me. You got to understand what comes along with that. You letting Tasha K put you in a position just to try to sell a book and going against the dude that actually can probably put you on and put you in a position of power and make sure that your kids was taken care of. All for what? For clout? And you sitting here and talking about he must have been insecure because he got a bunch. Man, you was in prison for the rest of your life. You had life. You had life. What are you sitting here talking about a man being? How can I be insecure when I'm taking care of your kid? Come on, man. I'm not going for it. I'm not going for it.
Punk ass.
Yeah, that's what he told Jason.
I mean, you do look better than him.
I think so too. And you know something? I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I remember when Majorie and I was together. She used to hate. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna tell it all. I'm gonna tell it all, y'all. She said and it was fact. She used to check dudes with big lips. She was calling them soup coolers.
These y'all kings? Are these y'all kings right here? Is these the type of dude that y'all looking up to when y'all saying, yeah, OG, this dude right here that don't even realize that he still got a tag on his suit? Is this y'all king? A chatty patty? A dude that's willing to go back and tell the tea on what a chick that he used to talk to or he used to be in a relationship with and telling all of the secrets behind the scenes? This y'all king? Man, this is the corniest junk that I've ever seen in my entire life. This is the corniest thing that I've ever seen from an alleged kingpin in my entire life. You don't go back and you pillow talk. You don't go back and you say what it is that y'all was saying when y'all was laying in bed together. You don't go back and say different and stupid, dumb stuff and all of that. And this is why I say we need to start holding. I had a conversation with a dude that cammed up on Friday, and he was trying to disregard his father. I said, man, you better give your father some credit. Man, you better give your because he actually is one that took care of you and made sure that you was not. He couldn't say anything negative that his father did. And so when we finally start to have these conversations, and we start to see the examples of what fathers that have been egregious, that hasn't been present in the kids' lives, and we sit here and we talking about how these dudes is moving. This is grimy. This is snake stuff. This is chatty patty stuff. This is pillow talking. I ain't never seen a OG or gangster or thug or any real dude. Let's remove all of the OG conversation out of it, right? I ain't never seen a real dude sit there coming back talking about a chick that's married to an if a chick that I used to talk to moved on and got into a relationship with somebody else and she's married, whether she's married or not, or if she's moved on, I have nothing else to say. The only thing that I want her to do is to never ever say nothing about me either. And even if she did, I'm ignoring it. I'm not even going back on that because I'm a real, you don't go back and start telling all of the business. Yeah, man. And when we was laying together, she used to hate these type of dudes and all of this. And she would tell me, man, what kind of junk is that? You don't say what you done did behind closed doors. You don't go back and start talking about your ex chick. She's your ex chick. You were married to her or you were in a relationship. You had kids with that chick. You don't go back and start telling the secrets of what y'all was talking about when y'all was laying down together, knowing that she's married and she's a public figure. Who do that? The same energy I got for him is the same energy that I had for August Alsina when he was on that interview talking about everything that was going on inside of his relationship. Who do that? Who talk like that? Who go back and start having conversations about what another man's wife that you used to be wife and he took care of and raised your kids used to do? This is wild. This is now when I say on code, this is what I mean by on code. Completely off code. Completely off his rocker. This is wild. You don't go back and start telling all of the pillow talk secrets. Fam.
Dudes with big lips. She was called soup coolers. Before she married Steve Harvey, they was dating because
man, he can't even come up with nothing. He can't even come up with nothing real. Yeah, man. Majorie used to say that she didn't like guys with big lips and soup coolers. Man, if you don't take your dusty, I just bought this suit, I'm about to go and take it back to the store ass back. Damn, I might have messed up my whole thing, y'all. I have been working on a big old interview. With somebody that was allegedly tied to him and trying to bring him on the show. I might have messed that up. I might have to edit this out. This might just be a Rumble exclusive. You know what I'm saying? I might have to edit that out because I don't want them feeling a certain type of way of what it is that I'm saying right now. But come on, man. This ain't real. This ain't no real type junk. This is so corny and fake, man.
All this time, we talking. Even while she was dating. I could call her anytime, day or night. Me and Laura's daddy talked, and I thanked him for looking out for the family. We had that kind of rapport, I called him and I thanked him for, and like I said, for 20 years, Majorie brought the kids to visit me. As a friend, we just friends now. She done gone on with her life, dating and whatever she doing.
Yo, if a chick that I used to talk to has moved on with her life and is now married to another guy, why am I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to have conversations with you unless it's about anything related to the kids. Unless it's related to the kids, why would I ever want to have a conversation with her? And then if you did, why are you sitting here telling it on why are you sitting here telling it to the internet? Clowns, bro. This is clown behavior. This is clown behavior right here.
And I'm going over my life trying to, fight and get out of prison. So that type thing. So, but when 3 days, I talked to them to show you how close we were.
Okay.
3 days before she got married to Steve Harvey, we talked. And she told me, she said, Jimmy, Jimmy, you know what, Steve, he's so much like my dad, And when she said that, I said, like your dad? I said, yeah, you're like him, Jimmy, because he's just like, my dad.
This dude is sitting here telling all of the tea, just like a little girl. This is yo. I expect to see this from women. I do not expect to see this from dudes that's supposed to be OGs. I expect to see you dish women. This is the stuff that women do. This is why I heard that Lori Harvey allegedly makes guys sign a multi-million-dollar non-disclosure agreement in order to date her. I heard Lori Harvey makes guys sign a non-disclosure agreement that is in the millions of dollars in order to even be able to date her. I know DJ Troy. You know he wrong. When you have women now having dudes sign non-disclosure agreements because dudes is out here moving like this guy right here, that's a problem. That's a problem. No integrity. No real stand-up ability. Not really what it is that he's supposed to be. And this dude is walking around being a chatty patty, telling all of the dishing all of the tea about the girl he used to be with 30, 40 years ago. She ain't even the same woman no more. That's the stuff that guys was like used to do. Man, listen, man, I don't want her out here telling all of my business. Hey, take her phone away, make her sign a non-disclosure agreement, help her to read it and understand it and all. That's the stuff that we be advising guys to do. Now we got the women doing it because we got OGs and chatty patties out here being an example of what it is that you're not supposed to do inside of a relationship. He over here sitting here talking about, yeah, man, and 3 days before she got married. Man, if you don't let that woman go on and live her life. And again, I'm not even a person that's for guys getting married to women that already got kids. But it's a certain way that you're just supposed to move. I don't know, man. Maybe it's the Detroit in me. Detroit moves. Detroit guys, not all Detroit guys, because there's some wild dudes out here too. But Detroit guys, and he ain't just get out of prison. He said he been out of prison for over 6 years. He ain't new to this. Detroit dudes, we just move different. We just don't. You ain't never, ever, ever, ever heard me ever mention a name, a conversation, anything with regard to any woman that I've ever had a conversation with or a relationship with before I got married. Imagine me coming back 20 to 30 years later and saying, yeah, man, because she was busting it down for a real one. I don't think that guys should be talking about what happens inside of the bedroom or what happens within a relationship unless they trying to defend themselves in federal court like Johnny Depp did. What is wrong with these dudes? These are y'all OGs. They taught y'all wrong. This is why a lot of dudes is feminine now.
And when she said that, I said, because I knew how her dad was. He was a real deal. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? From husband to parent. And I said, oh, you got to wonder that to be like your dad. She BS me on that. When I come to find out.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I wrote them.
This dude is wild. This guy is absolutely wild. So, my advice for you guys, before we get into the money, because now we about to start really, really deep diving. My advice for you guys, let me revise this. My advice for the ladies. I'm about to read super chats. My advice for the ladies is stay away from these suckers. Money don't make you real. Obviously, being a kingpin allegedly don't make you real. You got to be able to read between the lines. Make these niggas start signing non-disclosure agreements because these dudes is wild out here.